Thank you. Like Sergeant Dunn said, my name is Dave Wells. I'm the District 3 Police Area Representative. I have 7 guys under my, on my staff. Basically, we are responsible for community relations, community liaison. We work closely with all the schools. If you're familiar with the Aurora Public Schools, all high schools and middle schools have school resource officers. Unfortunately, the elementary schools in the city do not. So that's where the PAR officers in all of the districts, we also take responsibility for all the elementary schools and the education when it comes to this type of thing. A lot of what you're going to see tonight is different than what we've been teaching over the years. A lot of this stuff is coming from, we wrote the website over here, it's NCMEC. It's the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Very good resource for you guys, so it's ncmec.org. There's a lot of more information on that as well. We're getting away from the typical stranger danger talking, and we're now moving forward nationally with what is a safe adult. And there's a big difference there, okay? Statistics show that children that are abducted or lured, in many cases, are familiar or acquaintances with the people who take them. Now, that could be as easy as a family member that you don't see very often, or in another scenario, your child is walking home from school, and every day the same guy out raking his yard says, "Hi." Kid says, "Hi." Are they a stranger anymore? Possibly not in the child's mind, okay? So that's why we wanted to talk about this. So what is a stranger? Okay, kids, somebody raise their hand for me. You right here. Which one of those people do you think is a stranger? The guy up there in the corner? Everyone agree with that? Yeah. Really? Okay. Do you guys know any of these people? Wouldn't they be classified as a stranger then, if you don't know them? Everybody says that because it looks like a bad guy. We don't know the teenage boy, we don't know the businessman, the clown, or any of these people. So technically, if we don't know them, we need to consider them a stranger and not a safe adult. Which one's the stranger here? Carson? Both, exactly. Because that looks like the bad guy, but this looks like a nice grandma, but do we know her? We don't. Is that your grandma? No. Is that your grandma? No. Right, so that's what we're talking about. Everyone who is not a family member, a trusted family member, and that's your parents' responsibility to teach you who a trusted family member is, okay? A police officer, a firefighter, a teacher, or a close family friend that your dad or mom has determined is a safe adult. If not, they're strangers. Once again, if you do not know them, they are a stranger or a non-safe adult. Here's some rules to live by, and these are important that you listen to these, okay? And listen to your parents when they're talking to you about them. Only play in safe places. Around your backyard, your front yard, if your parents are outside with you. Never play in an unfamiliar place. We have a creek down by our house, and my kids like to go there, but we keep a pretty good eye on them when they're down there catching frogs and building forts. Never go alone. Always have a friend. Utilize the buddy system anytime you guys are away from home and out of your parents' sight. Don't stay out after dark. I know it's kind of fun in the summertime and it gets dark later, and right now is a bummer time in the year for you guys because it gets dark at 5 o'clock, but let's be inside 15 minutes before dark, okay? Never go anywhere without your parents' permission. This is extremely important. If they don't know where you are, they can't help you, and neither can the police, because if we can't find you, we have an issue, okay? Always check in with your mom or dad before changing locations. So if you're playing in your backyard and you're going to go into your next door neighbor's backyard and play with their kids while their parents are home, make sure your parents know where you've gone. Never do anything someone asks you to do if you think your parents would say no. Okay, so if you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm going to go down to the creek and play, but I know my mom and dad aren't going to let me do that, you probably shouldn't do it, right? Think to yourself, what would mom and dad say? We need to do that a lot about a lot of things, okay? Always make sure your parents know what you're doing before you do it. Check in with them. Say, hey, is this okay that I do that? Okay, you might not get the answer that you wanted. Sometimes they're going to say no, and it's going to be a bummer for you, but you have to listen, okay? And never, ever talk to strangers or that non-safe adult. There are 3 things to remember. These are easy, and there's going to be a quiz, so you guys all have to pay attention. If an adult you do not know offers you some candy or a toy, you should say, no. Huh? No. I can't hear you guys. No. Right. It's okay to say no to someone you don't know. Say it loud. Be authoritative, and that means with aggression. No! So let's hear it again. No! Very good. Say it loud and clear and let them know you mean it. If you go no, that's not very convincing. Be very loud like you guys just were. No! Run away. Run away. Make a bunch of noise and run fast. Find that safe adult, whether it be your parents, a trusted adult, police officer, fireman, a teacher. Okay? Make sure. Rule number 3. Tell a safe adult. Your parents in the police department cannot protect you and others if we don't know something happened. We had a couple cases this week where someone approached some people at a school and they didn't say anything to their teacher and they didn't say anything till they got home late at night, and now the police officers are out there at 11 o'clock at night trying to figure out what happened at 10 o'clock this morning. Make sure you tell somebody. If you're approached by anyone, tell your teacher, tell your mom, tell your babysitter, tell someone. Don't keep it to yourself. It's important information to get out. Okay? They'll let the police department know what happened so we can do our job. Okay? What was rule number 1? No! There you go, let's do it. No! Okay, all together. No! Very good. Yes. Say no loud. Next one. No. What was rule number 2? Run away. Good, G. Make a bunch of noise. Make sure you're saying, no, leave me alone. Run fast. Run away from them. Okay? What was rule number 3? Tell a safe adult. Remember, it's not just an adult, it's a safe adult. A trusted adult. Good. Safe. Okay? Talk to your parents about who a safe adult is. Your parents love you and give you important information on who are safe adults in your life. Okay? So you want to make sure that your parents are the ones who are telling you who's safe, not you guys making the determination who you think is safe. Okay? Now, obviously, myself and Sergeant Dunn would be safe adults if we were in this uniform. But if you didn't know me and I was in my sweats and my Under Armour hoodie walking down the street, would I be a stranger? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Next. These are some examples of safe adults. We've been talking about them. Police officers, firefighters, teachers, or anyone else your parents determined to be safe adults. Next. Always tell a safe adult if someone tries to get you to go someplace with them. If someone pulls up and says, hey, can you tell me where the mall is? Or hey, can you help me find my dog? Or hey, check out this new iPod I got. You don't want to go anywhere near those cars. Do not go near a car of a person you do not know. Big, big no-no, okay? Someone asks you candy, money, a toy, anything, say no. If someone asks you to help to find their dog or their puppy, no. Okay, are we starting to see the theme here? We've got to say no to people that are not safe adults in our life. Somebody ask if you need a ride. If you don't know, don't go. Okay, very, very easy. Someone asks you to do anything that makes you feel funny or uncomfortable. Have you ever had that feeling that you just, that's not right, that's icky, I'm not doing that. That's the feeling. It's your sixth sense. It's telling you something. Trust your feelings on that. It's okay to say no to anyone you do not know. Be safe and don't take any chances. Okay? If it was a mistake, we'll figure it out later, and that's okay. But be safe the first time. These are things you all should know. Okay, most of the kids in here are between 6 and 12 years old. You should know your name, your address, and your phone number. Okay? Your parents' name and their work phone numbers. Nowadays, it's not so much important for that, but we need to know their cell phone numbers. Any way we can get a hold of your parents. If they can't have their cell phone at work, you need to know their work number. Okay? What number do you guys call in an emergency? Very good, very good. Secret passwords. These are kind of important as well. If you and your parents need to pick this secret password. So if your mom drops you off from school or drops you off to school and says your Uncle Ray is going to pick you up and the password is Rumpelstiltskin. Okay, that's a dumb one, but I like it. All right, I can remember that one. And then that afternoon, Uncle Ray comes to pick you up. You ask Uncle Ray, "What's the password?" And he says, "Banana." Should you go? No, because that's not the password. So this is something you need to work out with your parents. Keep it to yourself. Don't tell your friends. Don't tell anyone. That's just a secret code word between you and your parents. Okay? They better know the password if they're going to take you somewhere, okay? All right, obviously you don't have to do that with mom and dad, but if it's somebody else, all right, they better know the password. Bad people will often look for a child who's alone. We talked about this earlier, the buddy system. Always be with a buddy if you're going to be out playing away from home. Don't ever go anywhere with someone your parents don't know about. So you don't go next door and then they're going to take you out for ice cream without telling your parents, okay? Just make sure your parents always know where you are and who you're with. That's pretty much the end of the PowerPoint presentation. Did you guys learn a little bit about something tonight?
Yes, we did.
All right, rule number 1.
No.
Rule number 2. Rule number 3. Tell a safe adult, not just somebody, a safe adult. All right, we're going to turn the lights back on and then we're going to get out here on the mats and we're going to have some fun. Is there any questions from the parents before we proceed?
All right, Carson. So I'm going to pick him up. He wraps his leg around my legs like so. Can you guys see what he's doing? And it makes it really hard for me to walk with his legs wrapped around my legs. Okay? Okay, you can put him down now. Now, what else should you do, Carson? Scream, right? Yeah, scream help. All right? Okay? All right, so, do you guys need to see that again, or do you think you can try that?
We'll try it.
Okay, let's get to work. Parents, you remember when your kids were really little, like 1, 2 years old, and they didn't want to go with you? What would they do? They'd drop on the floor, right? And you're like pulling dead weight? So, if it's a last resort, but you could just drop on the floor, go ahead and fall down, lay on your back, and it makes it really hard for me to pick them up and move them. I mean, I can because I'm on this mat, but on a dirt floor or on concrete, it makes it really hard because it's not smooth. Okay? These mats are a little smoother. But it makes it hard for me to pull them along. Okay? So try it. Go ahead. All right, so the next one is if somebody grabs your hand, grabs your wrist like this, okay, he's going to reach through and grab his own hand like he's shaking hands with himself, and he's pulling his hands up. So guys, parents, if you want to understand how this works, the weak part of anybody's grip is the thumbs, right? Okay, so it's basically his 2 arms versus my 1 thumb. And if you try this even with 2 thumbs, it's hard for you to hang on. So go ahead and pull up. It's very good. So now, here's another thing too. If you were to be grabbed by somebody who's really strong and it's not working, you need to kind of separate their mind from what's going on here. Okay, so how do you think you would do that? What do you think?
How to get their mind off of something is like to start kicking their legs up.
Absolutely. So you're making lots of noise, right? Because predators hate noise because they think, oh, everybody's looking at them. Okay? But the other thing you're doing is just like you said, you're kicking him in the shins, kneeing him, even bite if you had to. Okay? But here's the thing. If somebody's kicking me in the shins, all of a sudden I'm not thinking about my grip, I'm thinking about my shins. And my grip will loosen. Okay? It'll weaken me. So, don't really hit me, but just pretend. All right, go ahead. So you grab your hand like you're trying to do it, and it's not quite working, so you're kicking me, you're yelling help.
Help.
Louder, louder.
Help.
Okay. So the idea is that they leave you alone and they go try and find somebody, an easier victim. Okay? Try that.
Okay.
There you go. That's right. That's the idea. Good. That was good. Let me see. All right, grab it. Very good. It's hard to hold on to. Okay, so parents are going to get one of these kick shields to hold in front of your shins. All right? So the idea is if I grab his wrist and it's not working, he's kicking me in the shin and yelling help and pulling away at the same time until I let go. Okay, so let's try it again.
Help.
There you go. So they're kicking you and run. That's the number 2 rule, right? Okay, so parents, you hold one of these in front of your shin so it doesn't really hurt. Okay? All right?
Watch how you kick.
So With my little boys, when they were small, I used to do this with them, and I actually had them do it with shoes on my bare shins, and I wouldn't let go until it really hurt. You can try that with them if you like. My kids loved it. They thought it was hilarious. So, okay, pads are up here, folks. Oh, I know. How about I grab the other hand? Yeah, give that hand a break, huh? Yeah. Oh, there you go. Very good.
Hey, Seth, make sure you can tell especially in your socks. That's clutch.
That's all we have for you guys. Okay, do you guys have any questions of us about anything before we adjourn? Anything at all?
Any questions from the parents at all?
Okay, well if you guys think of something, by all means get in touch. Yes, sir.